All right, everyone. So let's talk about getting stronger in Dragon Champions. This is really important because you are going to get to a roadblock in this game. It is perfectly normal and it can be a bit tricky to move past, but I wanted to go through some things that will help you with that a lot. These things are going to make it a lot easier to get past those roadblocks, and they're just going to be important things to know as you progress through the game. So whether you are playing Dragon Champions right now, or if you're interested in trying it out, of course, a link will be in the description. Just make sure that before you end up getting to level 15, you use a promo code. So all you have to do is go to this cogwheel right here, click on this, go to use promo code, and then type in Salt Gift, just like that right there, and you're going to get some really useful stuff for your account. No 50k silver meme, I actually mean useful stuff. Draco Coins, which is the premium currency, gold, which is a pretty big bottleneck resource in this game, so it's really, really useful and necessary for account progression. Hero Stones for important heroes, energy, and just all sorts of really good stuff. So do this before you get to 15 or it will be too late. Now let's get into what are going to be some of the different ways to get stronger in Dragon Champions. And the first thing on the list, very important, is your overall account level. Now I'm talking about account level right now and not specific hero levels, because account level in Dragon Champions is actually very significant, more significant than in a lot of similar games, because whatever your account level is, and using me as an example right here, I'm level 53 for my account, that is also going to dictate the maximum level that you can get any specific hero to. So right now, I cannot level up my Tromgar past level 53 because that is what my account level is. Now, of course, there are plenty of heroes that I'm going to have that are below my account level, but if I decided to, go crazy and level up some heroes right now, I could only take them up to whatever level my account is currently at. So this is why it's really, really important to make sure to utilize all of the resources that the game gives you, especially the ones for free. This is a mistake right here. Definitely don't do what I'm doing with my energy. You want to try to, as best as you can, keep your energy below the maximum, because when your energy is below the maximum, you're going to regenerate it naturally. What I'm doing right now, I'm losing out on my natural free energy regeneration, and that's just free resources that the game gives you, every few minutes or so. So energy is going to give you approximately 1 account experience per energy that you spend. So, if I did decide to go crazy right now all of a sudden and spend all my stored up energy, it would actually get me over a full level. And that makes a really significant difference in your power. But another important thing is your dailies. Absolutely make sure this should probably be one of the very first things that you kind of work on, because not only are you going to get really, really useful stuff like Draco Coins and tokens and just, resources that you're going to need, but your dailies actually give you a pretty substantial amount of account experience as well. So absolutely utilize all these resources and work on your account level as best as you possibly can. Now let's talk about the actual hero levels a little bit. I kind of covered this, but your heroes can only actually get to whatever account level that you are at, but you do have to kind of get a bit comfortable while you are working on your actual account level and not max level. You're not going to be able to have all of the heroes that you have be at that maximum level. You can see here that I kind of have like my primary team, which is mostly orcs and people that I use for the let's see, the Rage of the Clans campaign. And then I have my secondary team, which is going to be humans, which I use primarily for the Dawn of the Order campaign. So you can kind of work on like 1, 2, maybe pushing it 3 teams, but you have to get comfortable with leaving a good amount of heroes not at whatever account level that you're at and kind of going back and working on them later. This is why it's important to get a good understanding of like what heroes are more powerful, because this is going to allow you to determine, whether to swap heroes out of your main team, swap somebody in, and then kind of work on those heroes while kind of leaving some other ones behind in order to save those valuable resources, because levels are very resource intensive. They cost these experience tomes, but they also cost quite a bit of gold, which is why I really want to emphasize, don't get used to leveling up way too many heroes to your account level, because it's just not really that reasonable. Okay, so next up is the actual gear system. Now, the gear system is different than the rune system, and it's important to differentiate that gear is not actually going to be swappable. It's not going to be RNG based for the actual stats that the gear has. What you're probably thinking of that is similar to other games is actually the rune system. This is going to be the ones where you have RNG. They're going to drop with different stats. You can level it up, you can upgrade it, you can min-max it, swap it out, do all that sort of stuff. But gear is different. Gear is going to be permanent on your actual characters, and once you end up fully equipping the gear for a character, what happens is they actually level up for their gear level. They gain those stats permanently, and then you have more options to add more gear to them. And of course, this is all going to be dictated by your actual hero's level. So as your hero levels go up, you'll be able to equip them with more gear, which is why it goes back to your count level. You know, all these things kind of tie together, why it's really important to work on this stuff, because it's going to be really helping your account in the long term. So now, runes, on the other hand, this is probably what you're more familiar with. This is going to be kind of like the end game optimization min-maxing. A lot of the other stuff that I talked about in this video, it's kind of like a one and done. You know, once you do that for your hero, you're done and you can move on to the next thing. They've permanently gotten that power. Runes, on the other hand, are a little bit different because there's a lot of RNG involved. Leveling up, you don't know what stats you're going to get. You really have to work around it and optimize it and spend time knowing the gear system. This is something that could easily be many videos dedicated towards, so I'm not going to get too much into detail. The only really big suggestion that I can give you about runes right now is, when you are starting out, just get some basic runes on your heroes, something similar to what I have. You don't even have to get them all the way up to level 16. You can kind of leave some of them at level 8. 12 is a pretty good level to get them to, but don't go too crazy optimizing, because it's really a very long process to get right. So get the basics and then move on to some of the other aspects of the game. And once you have more time and more free resources available to, then you can kind of go back and really optimize the runes a lot more, because that's one of the biggest end game features. So gear and runes. Now, another thing that is going to be huge for your power is skills. And I really need to emphasize how huge properly leveling up your skills alongside the actual heroes as you level them up, it's going to make a major difference. Not just in terms of the actual power that they have, like when you take a look at first glance here, you know, 13,000, 8,000, not just that number, but the amount of usefulness that heroes are going to have when you properly level up their skills is insane. So very important. My suggestion is really try to work on the skills for the characters that are generally considered the best. Like Tromgar has a popularity of 95. A lot of people use him because he is very good. So when I commit my, resources to skills, these are valuable resources. You know, these scrolls are a bottleneck. Once again, it's not something you're going to have the resource to be able to work on all of your heroes all at once. So you have to pick and choose carefully, and once you commit, you have committed. So, just learn the actual heroes, learn how good they are. Popularity is always a good, first glance. And then work on those before you kind of go crazy using your very limited scrolls on heroes that are not really considered to be as good. So another generalization here, but you've got your 3 scrolls, your green ones, which are your uncommon, your blues, which are your rares, and then your purples, which are epics. And greens are quite a bit more common, of course, makes sense, right? But your blue scrolls and especially your purple scrolls, these are really big bottlenecks. So absolutely, if you don't know exactly how to use them, worth the little bit of time to do some research and find out more about the actual heroes before you go crazy and commit this resource. But big difference in terms of actual power. Now, the next thing on the list is the actual star level of the heroes. So you can see they all represent different stars based on how many of the hero stones that I've gotten for those respective heroes. And 7 stars is going to be the highest. So as of right now, I have 1 7-star hero, and every star that you get for your heroes is going to just give them, quite simply, an extra boost in terms of power. Now, if you're wondering, once you do end up getting to the maximum 7 stars, technically, you might think, does the actual hero stone for this hero, is it useless now? What happens if I get them? Can I do anything with it? The answer is yes, they are still useful. In fact, you might even think they are more useful after you get to 7 stars than before, because what that'll convert is to these tokens right here that you can use for the star shop. So you can see I had 12 of these hero stones because I already have them at 7 stars. No more stars to acquire on him, so they convert over to these amethysts, which I can use to buy stuff here. So absolutely not useless. And slowly, as you kind of progress through the game, work on farming, pull from chests, do all that sort of stuff, you're going to eventually get a lot more characters to 7 stars, and you're going to notice a big difference in terms of their actual power gain. And the last thing that I want to go over is something that is not directly going to give them more actual power score. Everything that I've talked about in this video so far will directly translate to more actual power on your power sheet right here. Everything. This thing is not, though, and this is going to take a little bit of brain power, not a whole lot, but it is huge and incredibly important in this game, and that's just kind of learning what heroes are going to synergize really well with other heroes. This is huge. It is a game changer, and this is probably the thing that is going to help you the most when it comes to moving past those roadblocks. Is you need to find out, what hero works really well with what other heroes in terms of their skills. And just as an example, orcs are a perfect example, because orcs work very, very well together, especially with Tromgar, because his leadership ability right here, you can see both the potency and tenacity of all allied orcs increased by 30%. For each debuff an allied orc inflicts on an enemy, all orcs recover 5% of their health. So you could see that just having any extra orcs in the team really makes this ability benefit a huge, huge amount. If I did not have orcs and I decided to go with other heroes, I lose a lot of potential from an ability like this. So you just kind of have to learn a little bit, take a look at the skills, and figure out which heroes synergize well with other heroes. And even though it doesn't give you points on your power score, it's going to make a major difference in terms of progressing through the game and getting past those roadblocks. So this hopefully should help out those of you guys who are playing the game in the early to mid game get through some of that campaign, because I know a bit can be tricky. So thank you guys for watching. I hope that this helped out once again. And another quick reminder, if you haven't, before you get to level 15, make sure that you use the promo code SALTGIFT to get that free stuff, because once you get to level 15, that's it. It's too late. Even if you don't use my code, you won't be able to use anybody else's code as well. So lots of free stuff that you definitely don't want to miss out on. That's it for the video today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed, and more videos should be popping up on the screen. Feel free to check them out. But if not, until next time, take care, everyone. And this is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.